have a question to ask all the people that bought or are thinking of buying the Retroid Pocket for this thing right here, because I just don't get it. I do not understand. You find males and those 2 or 3 females that watch me, please help me understand, why would you buy this thing when the Odin 2 exists? The whole point of buying a more expensive handheld is to play PlayStation 2 and mostly nothing else. We are the generation, and contradict me on this if you think I'm wrong, we are the generation that saw the PlayStation 2 in action. We were the right demographic and we were kids when the PlayStation 2 thrived and it became a thing. We saw Grand Theft Auto Vice City, we saw GTA 3, we saw God of War, and we tried to play all of these things. Some of us went to gaming cafes because we were poor as all hell, this guy, and some of you lucky folk had a PS2 at home, but we are this generation. And the Retroid Pocket 4 cannot play a lot of PS2 games. It can play quite a bit, but you will always be with the stick up your... if you understand what I'm saying, because you will constantly have to look at frame rates, you will constantly suffer, you will constantly have that everlasting paranoia that your game might not run properly. The Retroid Pocket 4 as a console is way too expensive for what it is, and for its price you might as well put $150 more and get an Odin 2, which actually comes with a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor, which can run anything, and I mean absolutely anything, from the retro gaming space that's currently present on Android. Yeah, sure, you won't be able to run PS3 games like you do on a PC, but for God's sake, we're still talking about handhelds here, and it's $350. It's way more than 200, but it actually does the job right. You actually have a guarantee that your experience is not compromised, that your experience is as it should be. You do not get to have that constant, and maybe it's just me, but I would have that constant glooming anxiety. Oh my god, I want to launch Legacy of Kain Defiance, one of my personal favorite games from the PS2. Will it stutter? Will I get choppiness? I don't want this to have over my head, so I would rather pay $150 more, and I know it's money, I know it's a lot of money. It's an investment. When you pay over $150, I would say you are doing an investment for your own dopamine. You are doing an investment for your own personal fleeting, temporary happiness, which we all do. I'm basically at the whims of retro nostalgia. I'm so wrapped up in retro nostalgia that I totally get it. But if we are to do one thing, we might as well do it right. We might as well buy a damn thing that delivers on its promise. I love saving money. I love saving money as much as the next guy, but you don't save money by cheapening out in the things that matter, at least in my opinion. I might be wrong, but that's how I feel. So, if you want to play PlayStation 2, go for the Odin 2. If you want to play things up to PS1, you don't need the Retroid Pocket 4. Get the Retroid Pocket 3 or the 3 Plus. They are cheaper and they would do exactly what you want if you don't want PS2. If you want things from before the PlayStation 1 like the NES, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance, and so on, just get one of these suckers. This thing, I swear to God, this thing, people claim that it's fragile, but it's not. I've dropped this like 4 times. Well, again, not this one. This one is the unnecessary and totally preventable victim of my stupidity because I messed it up while trying to replace the battery. But I have another fully functional black one, which I use as my main one, and I dropped that like 4 or 5 times and it's still okay. So, in my opinion, if you want a perfect handheld that can satisfy that retro gaming itch, which goes up to PS2, get the Odin 2. I would just buy something that I know can hold 60 frames per second on PS2 games because we can do that on PS2 Android emulation. We can have 60 FPS now, which quite frankly gives a way better experience than having a PS2 in the house. So yeah, do an investment. Invest in your own happiness. Get an Odin 2 if you want, or just get one of these bad boys. The thing with retro gaming, and I've done a lot of soul searching on this, the thing with retro gaming is that, at least at our age, at my age, at your age, I assume you're a dinosaur as well, at our age, we don't really play to necessarily finish the games or enjoy the story. We play because it takes us back to our childhood. We play because it takes us back to when we were kids and we were worry-free and we were just waiting for our parents to call us for dinner, to tell us that dinner is ready, and for us to reminisce over the simple times when we didn't have rent, when we didn't have God knows what, the responsibilities, kids, taxes, IRS on our asses. A time when we didn't have any of this is a time that our brains desperately want to come back to. And these little mother flippers are the anchors that we use to try to relive the stress-free times of those periods. At least that's what I think. That's what I think retro nostalgia is all about. They remind us of how it was like to be a kid. So if you only need this, you actually need a cheap retro device. Link in the description for the Miyoo Mini Plus. Full disclosure, it's an affiliate link. I get a small kickback. If you make a purchase, the price for you remains the same, but I get a tiny portion with which I can maybe buy a coffee. But like I said, in my opinion, for the PS2, the Odin 2 is the only option right now. The Retroid Pocket 4 enrages me because it's close to playing a lot, and I mean a lot of PS2 titles. You guys will say, but Vlad, even the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus played 60% of the PS2 catalog. Yeah, I know all of that, but 40% is so big that you always have to do background research and check and hope that the Pocket 3 Plus manages to play it at a locked frame rate. And I don't want that. I would rather sell my soul through my wallet because it hurts when I spend money and pay a bit more, even if it's quite a bit more, just to have that better experience. But this is my take. Tell me what you think. Don't kill me in the comments too much. Again, I'm not judging you. You can buy whatever the hell you want. I love you anyway. You know, if you're in this clip, I love you. Me and you, we have a connection. Looking right in your eyes, we have a connection. And I love you for that. Speaking in the void like this, in the void of the internet, is actually almost good. And I love reading all your comments, so keep them coming. This is all for this rant. If you're still around, thanks for this. I'll leave links for the Odin 2 in the description as well, if it is on Amazon or AliExpress. I'll have to search after this clip. This clip was really a spur of the moment, impulsive recording that I had to make. So, see you in the next one, guys. Bye.